Welcome back to the Legion Training Series. In today's session, I want to talk about energy consumption. How do we gather and collect the actual usage of the customers and then use that information to model further on down the road with the panels and arrays and into the proposal itself. And so to do that, if you'll remember, we start by going into the proposal button itself. As we click on this proposal button right here in the bottom, that's then going to take us to the first step, which again is energy consumption. Before I do that, I want to quickly discuss this proposal button here. This proposal button is simply to give me quick access to any proposals that I've already created for the given individual that I'm working with. Okay, so again, this proposal down here is where we actually start and generate a new proposal for this individual that we're working with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the proposal button itself. It'll take just a second and then it will go into the actual energy consumption page where I need to gather the actual usage from that customer. Now I know there's a number of different ways that you're currently doing this right now. I'm not going to address all of those, but I do want to start with and show you the most effective and most accurate way using Legion to be able to collect that energy consumption. If you are with the customer, your first choice is going to be to ask them for a copy of a recent power bill. Okay, once they bring that up, go ahead and click on the camera icon itself, and you take the camera icon and you'll notice how simple it is at this point to then take the power bill. I have one sitting on my desk, and literally just zoom in until it turns green and click on that, and it will automatically snap just like at the grocery store, which will then bring in that actual energy consumption for you. Okay, now you'll notice that nothing has populated over here in kilowatt hours for me yet. All I have is the actual spread of the months that I'm working with. Okay, so what I want to do first of all is line up the months here on the bottom based upon the actual power bill. You'll know on the bottom of the bar graphs on the power bills, they tell you what month you're working with. To change that and adjust it, all you do is with your finger on the iPad, move this until it lines up March to March or whatever the case may be. Final thing you'll need to do is then click on the given month bill that you're working with. I'm going to say that it's actually July. So if I click on that bar for July, notice that it then gives me the ability to enter in that actual consumption for that month. I click on this button just appeared when I clicked on that bar graph there. Okay, now I click on that and it will allow me to enter in the actual kilowatt hour usage for that month. So again, I look at the bill for July that I have in hand or on a phone or another device that they may have access to, and I then say, you know what, there are, we'll say 450 kilowatt hours used in the month of July. I click enter. You'll notice that now it populates the graph according to those exact amounts based upon the spread that I have there. Okay, now a number of things are obviously happening on the back end to help us to get that accurate modeling of their usage or consumption. You'll notice that I know the average utility cost. The minute we came into this, we went out and determined through this person's address what utility they were using and the average utility cost associated. Okay, if for whatever reason you know that that is just not right and maybe they're an edge case of one shape or another, that's okay. Come in here to the settings cog. As you click on the settings cog, it will then surface any applicable LSEs in that area. Okay, we're going to tell you again, 90 some odd percent of the time, we're going to be dead on with that LSE and tariffs. But if you know that it's off or need to change it for whatever reason, this is how you could do it. I could come in and say, you know what, it's actually Rocky Mountain Power is the LSE, and they're on a residential time of use. And so I click on that. Notice that it's spinning for a minute, and it's going to adjust as needed. It looks like that was the actual one that is the right one. And so I could change it to a different one if I needed to, and it will automatically adjust everything for me at that point. Okay? Now, say I don't have a power bill, not one, and I don't have access to one, but I want to try to proceed with the consumer and at least get an idea of what their spread looks like. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and reset this graph here. And so I'm going to zero that out. Say I'm starting brand new with Mr. Bills, and I say, hey, do you have a power bill? He says, nope, you know what, I don't. Well, tell me what you think you spent last month. Okay, so that's one way. He could say, you know what, I spent $150 last month. And I can come in and I can say, okay, and we spent $150 last month. And now notice that it's going to apply a spread based upon that area, what all the neighbors combined are going to do on average based upon the fact that I know what he spent in the month. Okay, and at this point I can look at that graph with him and he can say, oh, well, actually, in December, we're snowbirds. My wife and I were not here, and so we turned down all of our heating and electricity usage goes way down. Does this seem about right? So again, we're getting as close as we can based upon the information that we have. But you'll notice that we can tweak and adjust and change these on the fly. We can enter in multiple months if I want. Maybe I have 4 months or 3 months or all 12. It doesn't matter. I can enter that in. I can enter kilowatt hours in, and we're still going to be able to model this effectively for that customer. Okay. We also have averages, and we have the ability to come in and say, you know what, my monthly average is this, or my annual average is this, and we can again model that accordingly. Certainly the most accurate is going to be doing it the way I showed you at the very beginning, which again is scanning that power bill and bringing that into getting their actual spread and then going through and applying the 1 month, because then we're right on the money with that. Okay, so now at this point, I want to talk about some options you have with this consumption. Again, once we've got it dialed in and one of the multiple ways that we can do it, we can come in and share this. If we're using a setter closer model or a setter designer closer model, this works very well for that. Notice the button here in the top right hand corner, which allows us, if I click on that, to share this consumption with whomever I would like. I can email this to the back office if I'm having someone else do my design. I can share it with the customer. I don't know why you would. I can send it to myself. Again, wherever I need to send that, I can do that. We recommend that you put the name of the person that you're working with here in the title, and then just put an email in and go. And it will send that actual consumption to, again, whomever you would like to send that to. Okay? If you're not doing a setter closer model and want to be able to go through the entire process here with us in Legion, certainly then you move on to the next steps, withdrawing, adders and incentives, and the financing and proposal and beyond. And so you'll see videos on all of these other pieces specifically, going into detail there that again allow you to be able to take that consumption all the way through, in a number of cases, all the way through loan docs and signatures as well. Okay, but that's energy consumption. Hope you like it. This is one of the most popular pieces of the platform. Makes that setter's job very, very easy. Now, I'm doing this on my iPad. You can collect consumption and do all canvassing capability on an iPhone as well. And so this is where the iPhone ends as far as its ability in the solar process. We did that so that, again, if you're using setters and you don't want to buy iPads for them, if they have iPhones, it's a very simple download on the App Store to be able to gain access to that. And again, on an iPhone or an iPad, they can go through the consumption. An iPad certainly will take you through all the steps described previously. So that's it for today on the Legion training series. We appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks and have a great day.